Oh my gosh, this chapter's insane. Last week's was insane. It's so fucking insane. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, alright. So basically the chapter starts off, right, with we see Toby and you see his face and you see the Sharingan in one eye and the Rinnegan in the other eye. And he's like, there's a little caption on the screen that says, "What dwells within those eyes?" Because now we don't know who the fuck Toby is. I still think that he's part of Madara, or he's something like Madara. He's part of, I don't know, man. This is crazy. We'll get into that later on in this review. Alright, so we swap back over to Mu and Madara points out that he recognizes the shinobi who are joined, like they're all wearing the same headband. And Mu's like, yeah, it's probably because of this war, all the countries and nations are together now. And Madara's like, cool. And then he's like, so, alright, so then, the Chizukage is, we get a panel of the Chizukage, and he's talking, he's like, so, yeah, I have no clue who the masked man could be. I have no idea now. If it's not Madara, because Madara's right there, then who's this guy? Although, like I said, I still think it's Madara. And then we get a panel of Madara thinking to himself, and this is where it gets crazy. He goes, this is his, in italicized bold lettering, this is his doing. And it seems he knows, so pretty much it seems he knows who Toby is. And then he also says that it doesn't seem like things are going according to plan. And he's surprised that someone is able to revive him in his current state. Which seems like the current state that he's in is like his prime young age, like when he was like in his, like when he fought Hashirama, the first Hokage. And then he asks Mu who was able to, or who's doing the Edo Tensei, the Impure World Resurrection. And then Kabuto takes over Mu's body to talk through him and introduces himself. He's like, I'm his assistant. Now, we're talking about Toby here because there's a couple hints that Kishi put in this chapter to let us know that we're talking about Toby. But, I mean, mainly because the his was italicized and bolded in the same way. But then we're also just talking about Toby, and, like, everything had to do about Toby in these last couple of pages from last chapter. This chapter, it was like, who's Toby? And so Kabuto's saying, I'm his assistant, because everything, again, was centered around Toby. Including Madara's thoughts. So everyone was like, oh, he's talking about Orochimaru, he's talking about Orochimaru, Orochimaru's alive, man. No, he's not alive. Orochimaru is very much dead. And Kabuto was talking, well, he might be, I don't know, well, because the snake escaped, that's a whole other topic. Just for right now, Kabuto was talking about Toby when he said he's his assistant. And Kabuto then proceeds to tell Madara that his Edo Tensei is a special version, and he's been completed beyond what he was in his prime young age, which is like when he fought Hashirama. Madara's like, how do you know about my prime? You know about my prime? And Kabuto's like, nah, why don't you show me your legendary Uchiha power? Then all of a sudden we see Gara-san come in and attacks Madara and Mu flies up, and Madara hops down in front of all the allied voices, and he's like, Katon! And like blows a giant firewall like a billion times bigger than everything we've seen so far. And like the whole front line of the allied forces is like, water fortification. And like everybody has to do a water fortification just to like block off and douse down this this insanely big freaking Katon. I thought I did the hand signs very well. Like there's Katon. Okay. And then Madara's like, and he goes just start going super taijutsu. He pulls out his sword and he starts kicking people's ass, slicing them up. But it's pretty much all fodder ninja at this point. Naruto points out that he used a lot of chakra and he can't go in any special mode or anything right now because he used up too much. And then we get a panel of Mu, and he's trying to use dust technique, the little Jay-Z sign. No, Mu's like, and he's about to use dust tech, and he's like, ooh, I can't use dust tech while my body is split. Because remember, his other half, when he's split, is still sealed, so he's at half strength, so he can't use dust techs. Just real quick, I think maybe that Madara and, well, mostly Madara, but Mu a little bit maybe too. Because remember, this Naruto is a clone, so, I mean, he could get beaten and not be dead, and he could also... you know, they could take out Gar and Chizukage. Maybe this is how the Chizukage is going to die. I think Madara's team side on this is going to end up winning this little battle, and then they're going to move on, and Madara is going to break Mu's seal, the other half that he sealed in, and then Mu's going to be at full strength again. I'm calling that right now in this fucking review. That's going to happen. But I guess we'll just see. And then Naruto out of nowhere jumps at Madara with the super giant ball Rasengan! And then the Chizukage is like, Earth Technique! And he makes the ground under Madara lift up toward the Rasengan. And then we're like, we get a panel, it looks like it hit him, and we're like, oh wow, Madara got defeated kind of easy. And then we're like, ah, oh, fuck it, Susanoo. And yeah, so Madara, we also see that Madara activated his Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, his EMS, and he's like, Susanoo! And like they just start kicking ass. And it looks really cool because we can see the Susanoo has two faces, like two sides. He has two sets of arms and everything, and he's just kicking ass. But one of the really cool things to think about this is when we look back at when Itachi was talking to Sasuke about telling him about when Madara first got EMS. We saw the monster behind Madara, the Sharingan Susanoo monster, and it had it had two sets of eyes, so 4 eyes, and it had like a double mouth and everything. So that makes perfect sense that when you get EMS, it would have double the faces and stuff. Granted, we haven't really seen a lot of that with Sasuke's yet, but we really haven't seen any of Sasuke's EMS yet. But this is just getting interesting. Alright, so Susanoo are activated, and Madara is just kicking EMS, or he's just using Susanoo, and they're kicking a whole bunch of ass, right? And Naruto's like preparing Rasen Shuriken, and then all of a sudden he's like, "My Rasen Shuriken's ready. I'm sorry it took so long. Go!" And Tizukage uses a Earth Tech on Gaara's sand to make it lighter, so it can like pass through Susanoo because it's like lighter than air or something. And Gaara goes in, reaches into Susanoo with the sand, and pulls out Madara. And Madara's like, "Ah!" and leaves Susanoo behind back there. And Naruto throws his Rasen Shuriken, and it's going, and it's gonna hit him. It's gonna hit him, and it's about to hit Madara. And then out of nowhere, we see Madara's EMS. Starts transforming, transforms into the Rinnegan. He's like, and absorbs the Rasen Shuriken. That is cool. I just saw that. Like, it refocused, like my camera refocused when I did that. But anyways, he absorbs the Rasen Shuriken. And Naruto's like, "What the fuck, man? Why do you have a Rinnegan? What? Why do you? Why do you have a Rinnegan? This isn't it. What?" And I'd also like to point out that. Okay, actually, I'll point it out in a minute. So after he's like, "Yeah. What the fuck?" Kabuto comments, he's like, "Yeah, I guess that the Rinnegan is the next step up from EMS. After, evolve past the Sharingan, you get the Rinnegan." And Madara's like, "Yeah, I awakened the Rinnegan shortly before my death." And Kabuto says, "I told you, you've been completed beyond what you were in your prime." And I think this means that when Madara got the Rinnegan, it was right before his death, so he's probably old or something, and he was not in his prime. Now, remember, Ito Tensei revised people how they were before they died, so obviously Madara wouldn't be in his prime, and he wouldn't be like how he was originally, supposed to be, like all the other Ito Tenseis. So that stems back from the comment when Madara's like that he was able to revive me in this state, because he knows a little bit how Ito Tensei probably works, because he was alive at the same time as Tobirama, the Nidomae Hokage, the second Hokage, Hashirama's brother, who invented Ito Tensei. So he's like that he was able, so that's why he's probably confused about how he's able to be revived in his like prime young state, not old. And Kabuto's like, "I told you, you are beyond what you were in your prime," meaning he allowed him to still have the Rinnegan with that, and how his eyes evolved after, he activated regular Sharingan, he activated EMS, and now he activated the Rinnegan, and he's like, "Oh," and he's like, Madara's then calls Kabuto a bastard, and he's like, "I'm surprised." Madara's very, very surprised that Kabuto was able to discover the secrets of his body, and that he couldn't even read the Uchiha Stone Tablet. And Kabuto's like, "Yeah, pretty much. Orochimaru did some research, and we formed a few hypotheses, and it looks like it worked out." And he's like, "You're actually proof that mine and Orochimaru's hypothesis was correct." And makes a comment. He's like, because now I can touch a fragment of the sage's power with your power that I've created." And Madara's like, "Hey, don't get the wrong idea, motherfucker. You did not create this power." And then we see Madara go poof, and like does some hand seal, like you can't really see what hand seal he's doing, but we see Susanoo, this giant Susanoo with both faces, both set of arms on either side of Madara, doing hand seals. Like one Susanoo hand seal is like this one, and then the other is like fuck, how did he do that? I was like, oh yeah, it's like this. So I mean, we have one hand seal like this, and then we have the other hand seal like whatever the fuck I just did. Oh yeah, like this, and then they're all like, we've never seen a Susanoo do a hand seal. Like Susanoo is actually doing fucking jutsu now. This is probably why this next page is so epic. Because we've never seen that happen before. So obviously at this point, Madara is still far surpassing where Sasuke is at, even though Sasuke got EMS now. Madara's got EMS, Rinnegan, Susanoo, knows all these techniques, blah, blah, blah. So they do the giant hand seal, and out of nowhere, the next page, a giant fucking asteroid-type ball comes hurtling toward them. It's the end of the chapter, and it's the end of the chapter, and it's a giant asteroid just coming straight down from the sky, and they're like, everyone else just looks up and like, this is on an entirely different level. This is fucking horrible. Oh my gosh. And the chapter ends. How they're going to stop this? There's no way for them to stop it. Except for one! I'm calling this could happen also. Now, I remember I told you that I think Madara is going to win. Madara's side is going to win this little battle between them. But this could also happen. B, but see, the thing is B is with Naruto, so I don't know if this is going to happen like this. The only way I see them actually winning this, or getting past this, is two ways. Two things are going to happen. One, B and Naruto come out, or B comes out of nowhere and does a Bijudama, does a fucking Biju bomb, and blows this thing to bits. That's one possibility. The other is that the Tizakage uses the last of his chakra to use Jinton Genkai, or to use his Dust Tech, which has been said to be able to blow up an island, so it would probably be strong enough to blow up this asteroid. He uses the last of his chakra and dies, because remember, he said he couldn't use it before because he didn't have enough chakra, but if he drained it to the point that he died, he would have enough chakra pretty much. So we might get to see Tizakage die that way, using Jinton to go up and hit the asteroid and stop it and blow it up, and then we finally have a bigger character die. I'm calling that also right now that this could possibly happen. So that's just one thing that I'm saying. Otherwise, B's got to come in, or some. I don't see anything else happening as far as them being able to destroy or stop this asteroid. All in all, amazing fucking chapter. 10 out of 10. Shit's gonna get crazy. I still say Toby's got to be a part of Madara, because if you remember, this all makes perfect sense now and falls into place. If you say that Toby is Madara, then it falls into place of this. Let's check it out. Remember, Toby said he gave Nagato the Rinnegan, right? As he's pretending to be Madara, he says he gave Nagato the Rinnegan. Madara recently said that he awakened the Rinnegan shortly before he died. So, it would make sense that Madara awakened the Rinnegan, gave them to Nagato as the baby, and then died. So he'd be like, the last thing he would remember is giving the Rinnegan to Nagato, or the ability to have the Rinnegan to Nagato, and then dying, and then somehow creating Toby. Toby was already alive then. I'm calling it right now also that Toby was alive then at that time to instruct Nagato to revive Madara later on. So that was Madara's plan, is basically he awakened the Rinnegan. Toby was there, half created, could be part Zetsu Madara combo. That's a whole other topic, kind of. Gives Nagato the Rinnegan. Nagato's supposed to grow up while Toby kind of controls him, makes him use Rinne Tensei to revive Madara, and then that would be the plan. So I guess we're going to find out in coming chapters. Either way, this was amazing. Thanks for watching. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Biggest thing of all, subscribe to my fucking channel to see more manga-related videos. I have a whole bunch planned for this channel recently, and I'm going to have a lot more free time this coming week than I have in the past month or two of making these videos. So if you please subscribe and rate and comment and stuff, that would be greatly appreciated, as well as your theories and stuff along that kind of nature. Thank you for listening. This has been Chris, signing out, Arbiter Kage. I think I've covered pretty much all my theories. Deuces.